You just checked your phone. You didn't mean to. You picked it up, looked at it, put it down, and now you're already thinking about picking it up again. That pull you feel, that restless, almost itchy need to look, is not a bad habit. It is not a character flaw. It is something far older and far stranger than a device you've owned for a few years. It is your brain running a program that is 200,000 years old. Here is what nobody tells you. Your phone didn't create that feeling. It just found the switch your brain already had installed. And once you understand what that switch is for, the whole thing looks completely different. Let's go back. Not to 2007 when the iPhone launched. Not to the early internet. Much further. Back to a flat, open grassland somewhere in what is now East Africa. You are there. Your body is roughly the same as it is today. Your brain is functionally identical. But the world around you is nothing like yours. There are no walls, no notifications, no guaranteed meals. What there is, in every direction, is information. The rustle of grass could be wind. It could be a predator. The behavior of the birds overhead could tell you where water is. A change in the sky could mean a storm is coming. Missing any of these signals didn't just mean inconvenience. It could mean death. Your brain evolved to be a signal detection machine. Not just a good one, an obsessive one. Because in that environment, the cost of missing a signal was catastrophic. A brain that was too relaxed, too comfortable, too willing to sit quietly and ignore the world around it, that brain got its owner killed. The brains that survived were the ones that couldn't stop scanning, couldn't stop checking, couldn't stop asking, did something change? Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz spent decades studying what happens inside the brain when it detects a potential reward. His research identified a specific pattern in dopamine neurons, the cells responsible for motivation, drive, and the feeling of wanting. What Schultz discovered was striking. These neurons don't fire hardest when you receive a reward. They fire hardest in anticipation of a reward, in the moment of uncertainty, in the space between checking and finding out. That gap, the not knowing, is where the addiction lives. Your phone exploits this perfectly. Every time you pick it up, you don't know what you're going to find. Maybe nothing. Maybe a message that matters. Maybe something funny. Maybe something upsetting. The unpredictability is not a bug. It is, whether intentionally or not, the most powerful feature of every notification system ever built. It is the same mechanism that makes slot machines so difficult to walk away from. B.F. Skinner called it variable ratio reinforcement. Rewards delivered on an unpredictable schedule produce the most persistent, hardest-to-break behavior of any reward pattern ever studied. Your ancestors on the grassland were scanning for variable rewards too. Sometimes the rustle in the grass was a predator, sometimes it was nothing, sometimes it led them to food. The unpredictability kept them alert, kept them scanning, kept them checking. You are doing the same thing. You are just doing it to a rectangle of glass. This is not your fault, but understanding it changes everything. There's another layer here, and it goes even deeper. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar proposed in the early 1990s that human brain size correlates directly with the size of the social groups we evolved to manage. His research suggested that the human brain is, at its core, a social processor. We evolved to track around 150 people, their moods, their loyalties, their status, their alliances. Missing a social signal in a small tribal group wasn't just awkward. It could mean exclusion. And exclusion, in the ancient world, was another word for death. Your phone is a social signal machine. Every notification is a potential update about the 150 people your brain is wired to track. Or, in modern life, the hundreds or thousands of people it's been tricked into tracking. A like on a post, a reply to a message, a follow, an unfollow. Your brain processes all of it, the same way your ancestors' brain processed a change in someone's expression across the campfire. Is the tribe okay? Am I okay within the tribe? Did something shift? This is why you feel a specific kind of anxiety when your phone is not within reach. It's not the device you miss. It's the social information stream your brain believes is flowing without you. Somewhere, signals are changing, and you are not watching. Psychologist Larry Rosen has studied technology anxiety extensively, and his findings confirm what many people feel but struggle to articulate. The discomfort of being away from your phone is physiologically similar to the discomfort of social exclusion. The brain does not clearly distinguish between the two. To your nervous system, missing a notification and being left out of the group feel remarkably similar. Both activate the same threat response. Both trigger the same urgent pull to check, to reconnect, to make sure you haven't been left behind. Now here is the counterintuitive part. The phone itself is almost secondary. You could take the phone away entirely, and your brain would find something else to obsessively check. People who lived through the era before smartphones were not calmer or more present. They checked answering machines, they checked mailboxes, they watched the door, they scanned the horizon. The behavior is not the phone's creation. The behavior is yours. It always has been. What the phone did was concentrate every category of signal your brain evolved to monitor into a single object. Social signals, environmental changes, danger alerts, Opportunity detection, status updates, all of it in one place, available at any moment. For a brain built to scan, this is not temptation. It is something closer to a perfect storm. And then there is the feedback loop that no generation before yours has ever had to navigate. Every time you check your phone and find something, anything, your brain marks the behavior as successful. The scan produced a result. The dopamine system registers it. The urge to scan again increases slightly. Every time you check and find nothing, the dopamine system doesn't simply reset. It primes you to check again sooner because uncertainty increases wanting. The system is not satisfied by emptiness, it is activated by it. Nir Eyal, who spent years studying the behavioral design of technology products, described this as the hook model, a cycle of trigger, action, variable reward, and investment that, once established, runs largely outside conscious awareness. You don't decide to check your phone. The behavior initiates before the decision reaches you. That is not an exaggeration. Research using fMRI imaging has shown that the neural signal to reach for the phone often precedes conscious awareness of the impulse by several seconds. You are already moving before you know you're moving. The ancient scanning system is faster than your awareness of it. So, what do you do with this? You cannot simply decide to stop. That is like deciding not to flinch when something moves toward your face. The reflex is below the level of decision. What you can do is understand the shape of the mechanism well enough to work around it rather than against it. You give the scanning system something to scan that costs less. A window, a walk, a few minutes of watching something that moves and changes without requiring a response. The brain doesn't need the phone. It needs novelty and the feeling that it's not missing anything. Those two things can be satisfied in ways that don't cost you hours of your day or the background hum of constant low-grade anxiety. The people who seem most comfortable with their phones are not the ones with the strongest willpower. They are the ones who have given their ancient scanning brain a slightly better answer to its oldest question. Is anything important changing out there? They have found a way to say, I already checked. We're fine. Not forever, but for now. And that, it turns out, is all the brain has ever been asking. So the next time you feel that pull, that specific, almost physical tug toward the rectangle on your desk, remember that you are not failing at being modern. You are succeeding brilliantly and automatically at being human. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do, in a world it was never built for. The pull you feel tonight when you reach for your phone without meaning to is the same pull that kept your ancestors alive on a dark open plain 200,000 years ago. It just found a new place to live.